Good morning, students. So today onwards, we are going to be start the unit number 3, which is the substations. So before going to discuss about the content, let us have a brief look on what the substations consisting. So this as per the university norms, this is the syllabus in the unit number 3, that is the substations. So in this syllabus, majorly is concentrated on location of substations. Location of substations. So how the substation is to be located and what's the rating of distribution substation. So rating of the distribution substation based upon the number of feeders which is outing from the substation. So maybe substation service area is the n number of feeders also possible. And also the benefits derived to the optimal location of substations. So this unit is organized into 3 main topics. One is the location of the substation, location and rating we discussed there. And the second one is classification of substations. So classification of substations, there are 2 classifications based upon the insulation provided. One is the air insulated substations, other one is the gas insulated substation. But fortunately, we are not having gas insulated substations. So that will cover in the HVDC, that will cover in the high voltage engineerings. But in this particular case, only we have to discuss about the air insulated substations. So air insulated substations such as indoor substations as well as the outdoor substation, and also the substation layout showing all the components in the substation and the location of all the components and brief description about each and every component. So this is the second part of the substations, and the third part is bus bar arrangement in the substations. So bus bar arrangement is one of the connection oriented circuit. With help of this, we are forwarding the power to we are transferring the power to the consumers without any interruption. So substation in the sense, a regular monitoring, inspection, service and maintenance is required. So during the maintenance and repairs are happen, so at that time unnecessarily why the power is to be cut off to the consumers. So without interrupting the consumers, the power is to be diverted to alternative circuit. So that circuit is simply referred as a bus bar. So bus bar arrangement in the substation. So the classification of the bus bar schemes like single bus bar, sectionalized single bus bar, main and transfer bus bar, double bus bar with single breaker and 1.5 breaker scheme. So these are the content. So as per the syllabus point of view, this unit is to be organized into 3 parts. Part 1 is the location of substation, and part 2 is the classification of substations, and part 3 is the bus bar arrangement in the substation. So we are clearly discussed about each and everything in this regards one by one. We will go for the first one, the introduction to substations. So introduction to substations in the sense, what is the substation? What is the objective of the substation? So let us go one by one. So the first, what is the definition of the substation? So as per our awareness, substation is a place where the power is collecting from the transmission system and it is to be stepped down and supplying to the consumers. So where the high voltages are to be converted into low voltage, which is compatible to the consumers, and then transferring. This is the general duty of the substation. So let us see what is the definition of the substation. The substation, see the definition. The substation may be defined as an assembly of operators installed to perform switching, voltage transformation, power factor correction, power and frequency converting operation. So this is the generalized definition of the substation. It is a place with the assembly of operators installed to perform switching, voltage transformation, power factor correction, power and frequency converting operations. All these functionalities has to be performed in the substation. And what is the primary objective? The primary objective of the substation. So let us see here. The purpose of a substation is to take power at high voltages, so from the transmission or sub-transmission level, reduce its and supply into a number of primary voltage feeders for distribution in the area surrounding it. So the major objective of the substation is to collect power from the transmission or sub-transmission system, and it is to be stepped down or reduce the voltage level and supplied to the number of primary feeders where the area surrounding it. This is the primary objective of the substation. And shall we move for the first topic, which is the location of substations. So location of substations. To locate the substation, what are the parameters which are influenced? So what conditions are to be taken as a scale of measure for locating the substation site as well as substation establishment. So in this regard, see the some of the parameters. In general, the location of a substation is decided by the voltage level. This is the most important parameter. So voltage level is one of the most important parameter. Then voltage regulation considerations. So voltage regulation, as the distance from the substation to the load centers is increases, so obviously the voltage regulation is also increases. Voltage regulation increases in the sense losses are high. This is an inefficient system. So therefore, for locating the substation, voltage level is the one of the important point, and voltage regulation consideration is also another important point. And the incoming access, that is the sub-transmission costs as well as substation costs and other factors of primary feeders, mains and distribution transformers, all these are to be considered into account for the location of substation. Why? Because substation is to be located, it is very close to the load centers, so that the regulation is very good. And the accessible incoming feeders are there or not, it is very far away, so that the cost of the system increases. So all these factors are considered into account. The location of the substation is to be selected. So in addition to these technical parameters, some of the general parameters which also consider into account. So those are, see here. However, to select an ideal location of a substation, the following rules are needed. What are those rules in the sense? The rule number 1, so which is the locate the substation as much as feasible close to the load center of its service area. This is a very, very important point in the voltage regulation consideration point of view. So whenever you locate a substation, it is very, that is the reason generally we are observing in your areas also, substation is to be located in the sense it is very nearer to the load centers, maybe a village, maybe a town or anything. Is locate the substation as much as feasible close to the load center of its service area, so that the addition of load times the distance from the substation is minimum. So therefore voltage drops are reduced and the cost of the system is reduced. All these are considered into account. So locate substation always, it is very close to the load centers. And the next point, locate the substation such that proper voltage regulation can be obtainable without taking extensive measures. So generally, extensive measures in the sense, once the system is a the system is having a loss. So to minimize this loss, what can you do? You have to take the external measures by connecting a capacitors, by avoiding a losses like this. So without taking all these extensive measures, locate the substation in such a way that it gives the proper voltage regulation. So this is the most important parameter. And the next one, see, select the substation such that it provides the proper access for incoming subtransmission lines and outgoing primary feeders, and also allows for future growth. So the substation, while selecting, see, substation is a place or intermediator between the transmission as well as the consumers. So therefore, while selecting the site for substation or establishment for a substation, so what is the access of incoming lines or incoming subtransmission lines? That is most important. Is why? Because suppose that the subtransmission lines distance is very far away, so that it is a high amount of cost is required. So select the substation such that it provides proper access for incoming subtransmission lines and outgoing primary feeders, and also allow for future growth. Also allow for future growth in the sense any unexpected loads are increasing, automatically the substation has to supply the unexpected loads also. So that is the reason while erecting the substation, we can't restrict the limits of the supply. So you maybe provide some spare capacity. So that is also mandatory here. So the next point, the selected substation location should provide enough space for future substation expansion. So the population is keep on increasing. According to the population, the loads also increases. So as the loads increases in the sense, obviously the electrical utility also increases. So that what can already the systems are, existing systems are for up to certain maximum rating. So beyond that, what can you do in the sense? You have to extend the system for future expansion. So at that time, while locating the substation in such a way that it is accessible for the future expansion of the system. So that is also considered into account. And then the selected substation location should not be opposed by land use regulation, local ordinances, and neighbors. So all this comes under the physical barriers. Physical barriers in the sense, so land, suppose it is an urban area, you can take the permission from the municipal corporation or whatever it may be. So it is a local areas, so the Grama Panchayatis and so many. So once you can build a substation, it cannot be opposed by any members in future. So neighbors in the sense, suppose a 11 kV line is going on your house, you can't accept. Why? Because it is dangerous. So that's why. So considering all these physical barriers like land use regulations, local ordinances, and neighbors. So this is also most important for us for selecting the substation. And the next one, the selected substation location should help to minimize the number of customers affected by any service discontinuity. So this means that a fault arises in the substation. This fault is to be restricted to a minimum number of consumers, and simultaneously it is accessible to repair. Yes? So in such a way that we plan the substation so that the distance between the consumers and substation is less, so that any fault arises, immediately the substation staff has to come to the fault location and rectify, so that interruption of power is avoided. So the selected substation location should help to minimize the number of customers affected by any service discontinuity, and also the other factors such as adaptability, emergency, etc. So while establishment or locating the substation, you check it how many substations are surrounding nearby the creating substation. Yes. So in future, any failure of the system, is there any provision for taking the power from the other substations? That is the adaptability. And emergency, any emergency high powers are required for doing something. So obviously the substation has able to supply power to the emergency conditions also. So these are the 7 rules and regulations are to be adopted for locating the substation. So this is the location of substations. Now we can go for the rating of a distribution substation. So rating of a distribution substation. how the rating of the distribution substation is decided. So distribution substation, generally it is a rating of 33 by 11 kV. Yes. So 33 by 11 kV in the sense 33 is the high voltage and 11 kV is the low voltage. These 11 kV feeders are going to the consumer locations, and there with the help of a simple transformers, 11 kV is to be converted into a 415 volts or 230 volts, which is useful for the consumers. So rating of a distribution substation, which is decided by the number of outgoing feeders. Number of outgoing feeders. Yes, number of outgoing feeders may be a 4 feeders, 6 feeders, 8 feeders. So like that, n number of feeders per provision is there. Yes. So all these are required. See, then when there is a additional capacity requirement, yes. So when the substation has to supply some additional capacity to meet the increased load demand. So when it is possible in a sense, let us see. The additional capacity requirements of a system with increasing load density can be met by either holding the service area of the given substation constant and increasing its capacity. So see here, service area of the given substation kept constant and increasing its capacity. Load here holding the area constant and increasing the capacity of the power. This is the one option to meet the additional capacity. Otherwise, the second one is the developing a new substation and thereby holding the rating of the given substation constant. So if these two possibilities are there for meet the additional requirement of load density, either holding the service area constant and increasing the load, otherwise developing a new substation and thereby holding the rating of the given substation constant. So if these two options, you can meet the additional load demand. So to analyze the rating of distribution substation, the following assumptions are made. So those are, the first one is at constant load density for short-term distribution planning, at increasing load density for long-term planning. So that means that constant load density for short-term distribution planning and increasing load density for long-term planning. Short-term in the sense hardly it is for 5 years, already we discussed in the unit number 1, and a long-term in the sense it is hardly 20 years. Yes? So the short-term planning is by keeping load density constant. Load density here is load per area. Load per area is kept constant and planning the short-term. Whereas in long-term planning for over 20 years, the load has to be increasing. You have to assume that the load density is increased and plan the long-term planning. Yes. So let us see how the rating of the substation is to be adopted. For example, if substation serves the 4 outgoing feeders. So you see here, as it also customary and helpful to employ geometric figures to represent substation service areas. A square-shaped service area representing a part of or the entire service area of a distribution substation, which is served by 4 primary feeders from a central feed point as shown. You see here. Yes. So this is a substation center point, and this feeds the 4 primary feeders. So coming from the transmission and step down in the substation with help of a high power transformers, and there are 4 feeders which are going to the various load centers. So 4 feeders you see here. This is the one feeder. This is the one feeder for serving the load A, B as well as C. So this is the one primary feeder. Like that, here you are taking only one feeder and evaluated all the voltage drops, power losses, everything per one feeder, and that should be multiplied with 4 times so that you will evaluate the entire process, entire square shaped area. Why? Because one area you are the square shaped area is to be divided equally, so hardly it has 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Is our total 360 degrees is to be divided by 4, so 90 degrees hardly. So that in this evaluation only we will do per one feeder analysis, so that it should be multiplied with 4, so that the total square shaped area will be covered here. So let us see. In this feeder, the feeder commenced at the load point A, and this is the point B, and this is the point C. So it covers A, B, C. So this is the one portion, and other one is this portion. Yes. So the total length of the distributor, or the total length of the feeder, is L4. Why? Because here suffix 4 represents the square shaped area. And during the power transfer, this is the main feeder, and this is the feeder load center. Feeder load center. Load center, it is always located at a 2 by 3 of 2 by 3 of L4. 2 by 3 of L4. That means that 2/3 of the distance in the total distance. So see all the dots represents the location of distribution transformers in various load centers. So see the lateral, yes, the lateral, this is the lateral, and this is the location of distribution transformers, and this is the load center, and this one is a feeder main, this is the feeding point. So the load center is located at 2/3 of the total distance, and the total distance is L4, and this is the area served by lateral. Yes. So this representation is a square shaped area. Out of 4, only one feeder analysis has to be done for the voltage drop as well as power loss calculations. So figure represents what? Square shaped distribution service area. Yes, clear, students? So the total area is to be divided into a square, and it is equally divided into four equal parts, and one feeder serving one equal part, and that feeder analysis is going to be do here. Yes. Yes. The percent voltage drop from the feed point A to the end of the lateral C is, see how this equation has to be written. Percentage voltage drop of AC. A is the feeding point, C is the terminating point, which is equal to percentage voltage drop of AB plus percentage voltage drop of BC. In this voltage drop calculations, by introducing a constant K, which can be defined as percent voltage drop per kilovolt ampere mile. K is the constant. So why this can be defined in the sense, the feeder belongs, the voltage drop, everything belongs to the distance. Yes. So here the K value is defined as percent voltage drop per kilovolt amperes, volt ampere mile, kVA mile. Yes. So for various voltages and copper conductor sizes, the constant K as shown here. See here. So this is the percent voltage drop, and this is the line to line voltage, and this one is the copper conductor sizes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this, 1 by 0, 2 by 0, 3 by 0, 4 by 0. These are the sizes of the copper conductor. Yes, and if this side is line to line voltage and this is the value of K for this much of voltage, this copper size, the value of K, that is the percent kVA mile has to be changed according to the voltage change on the feeder, conductor size changes on the feeder. So all these are to be considered into account. The various values of K is given here. Various values of K is given here. This K value depends upon the line to line voltage as well as the copper conductor size. Copper conductor size. So this figure represents what? The K constant for copper conductors, assuming a lagging load power factor of 0.9. Yes. So for calculating the voltage drops in a feeder, the percent voltage drop, the percent kilovolt ampere mile is the constant K. This is also considered into account, which is depends upon the copper conductor size as well as the line to line voltage on the conductor. Yes. So therefore, according to the voltage level change, conductor size change, this will give the different values of K. So let us K is to be included in the voltage drop calculation according to the conductor size as well as the voltage level. So from the figure, each feeder serves a total load of each feeder is. So totally how many feeders? 4 feeders are there. Out of 4 feeders, only we are evaluating for 1 feeder. So S4 is equal to, S is the load, which is equal to area into density. Yes. So area into density in terms of kVA. S is the apparent power in terms of kVA. Yes. So let us define what is what here, where S4 is the kVA load served by one of 4 feeders emanating from a feed point. And similarly, A4 is the area served by one of 4 feeders. Every time we are defining one of 4 feeders. One of 4 feeders in the sense, out of 4 feeders, we are taking only 1 feeder. This area served by one of the 4 feeders emanating from the feed point in mile square. S4 is in terms of kVA and A4 is in mile square. And similarly, D is the load density in terms of kVA per mile square. So therefore, from equation 1 can be rewritten as, why? Because the area has to be calculated. S4 is equal to, area is nothing but, it is the, for one feeder you seems to be, it is a triangular shape. So the triangular shape having a middle conductor, that is the height is the L6, and B, but is the, it is 2 B's will arises, it is the 2B, 2 into L6, and the area can be generally the area of a triangle. So that means that one feeder analysis seems to be a triangle, That's why it is based upon R, B, H. Use this formula and develop the area, which becomes the half into 2 into L4 into L4. So half and 2 both are cancelled and A4 is equal to L4 square. So substitute instead of A4 by L4 square into D kVA. So this is the ith load. Ith area is also considered. Where L4 is the linear dimension of primary feeder service area in miles. So remember here, L4 is the linear dimension of primary feeder service area in terms of the miles. So assuming uniformly distributed load, uniformly distributed load in the sense equally loaded and spaced distribution transformers. So in the diagram we observe the transformers are loaded and spaced equally. So therefore, assuming the type of distributor is a uniformly distributed load, so that the voltage drop in the primary feeder is percentage of voltage drop in one feeder out of 4 feeder main is equal to 2 by 3 L4 into K into S4. So this is the equation. This equation will be coming later for the derivation point of view. At that time we will derive this equation. So how it will come in the AC distributor. Uniformly distributed load fed at one end. So with a loading point of 2/3 of L4. 2/3 of L4. So see that the voltage drop of a one feeder out of 4 feeders is equal to 2/3 of L4 is the center point located, and K is the LU of percent voltage drop in kVA mile, and S4 is the load. So then S4 already you are formulating an equation. So substitute equation 2 into the equation 3. So equation 2 in terms of S4 and equation 3 having the S4. So substitute in that. So percentage voltage drop of a one feeder out of 4 feeders is equal to, so 0.667 into K into D into L4 cube. This is the equation number 4. So from equation 3 and 4 are the lumped or total sum of load is located at a point on main feeder at a distance of 2/3 of L4 from the feed point is. So this is about the square shaped substation area rating is. So with this this class is to be going to stop. Then we will continue in the next class.